Good day, everyone. Welcome to a new update on the markets. Um, I don't have that much to update as I skipped the video yesterday as the price is not really moving at all. And the view is still the same for the markets. But I wanted to make a new one today to just share my view, just share my thoughts on the market, and go back in history. But first, let's just discuss the price movements as we are seeing it here. As you can see, I've chosen to pick a pretty clean chart, and there you can see why I'm focused on this 69 level pretty much, as I don't feel that Bitcoin is in any bullish market right now, given that we've lost a pretty substantial support and we didn't reclaim anything at all. Yes, we have made a tremendous bounce of 80%, which is a pretty big one. However, we have not cleared or claimed any previous support back, which is this level. If we reclaim the support here at 6.9 with a higher time frame close, like we push back to 7.5, 7.6, come back here, claim the support, and then continue to move, that would be a first good bullish move on the higher time frames. The next step is to make a new higher high. But if what we see here is that we have crushed the support, something similar to the movements we have seen in the previous bear market in November 2018, and we bounced back up. However, it's fighting the resistance here, and until it doesn't clear that level, I'm not bullish on the market. So that's still the same view. I've seen people's flip-flopping bias today. I've seen people charting Bitcoin like 10 times today, flip-flopping from long to short. I'm quite bored. My view is still the same since a week or two, I guess. I was expecting a relief bounce, as you have seen in the videos and my tweets. And now I'm expecting the price to move back down, especially given that the equity market should be done with the relief bounce, but we'll get to that pretty soon. I wanted to show the longs vs shorts as well. We flipped the funding for the first time since the crash on BitMEX, and it shows that 62% is long. It's actually 50-50. But it's an indicator that the majority is long at this point, which is, it's not new. We know that people like to long into resistances rather than supports. If the price crashes like this, nobody wants to buy here, but when the price moves back up, people start to buy in the tops as they are interested. And when the price moves up, they see green candles, they expect it to further move up. The same we have seen in the movements during 2017. Everybody jumped on the hype at the end, and nobody was interested in December 2018. But what I see on this bounce up is it's okay. It's a strong bounce. It's indicating that we've got a range here. However, as long as we don't break to 69, I assume we're going to test some lower levels. And if you go back in history, you've seen that there are many cases of deep flash crashes or wicks, even in the 2014 and 2015 market, after which the price bounced back up. You can see it in every example here. Price bounces back up, price bounces back up, price bounces back up. Same here. Every time. But there is always, or like almost always, a retest for support. You can see that here. It's similar to the 5k level. Here it's similar to 4.2, 5k. It has to come back down to confirm the support. So what's the point of longing Bitcoin here in a market that's really volatile given the economic instabilities right now? given the coronavirus and everything that's alongside with it. So if you want a long Bitcoin, I'll just be waiting until we claim this level for support. If it bounces to 8k, okay, that's fine. Then I'll just wait it until it comes back down to 6.9 and then I'll take it. There's always an opportunity to buy back in. And especially if you check the linear chart and if we are not reclaiming the 6.9 level, we should be coming back down, and then this whole area will take a long time until we are going to make movements, until we are getting into a bull market, which suits the thesis that I expect the markets of gold, silver and Bitcoin to outperform the equity markets when the equity markets bottom out. And given that I'm not expecting the equity markets to bottom out really soon, as I think that this is the Great Depression 2.0, I believe that we have got lower levels to test for Bitcoin and an accumulation period. And given that we have seen such a big drop down and such a big bounce, that accumulation period is a great period for you to accumulate your Bitcoin. Which means that you have to sit on cash, as cash is king during these heavy volatile movements, and people are in need for cash. Just recently, today, the announcement came that 3.2 million Americans are jobless, so they are in need for cash, and that will probably grow if the coronavirus stays here pretty long. And if you have seen the data, you've seen that Eastern Europe, Africa, Southern America and more countries that don't have a good healthcare, and some parts of the States as well, are already getting the coronavirus. So it's not going away for the next months. And if the economy will remain in this during the longer it will, the worse it will become for the economy. So if you want to make any buy at this point, I'll just be really patient on the movements and don't decide anything on emotions. I would never do that, but in these times especially. And I would never advise anyone to buy into this resistance here, especially given that I'm expecting the markets to make a bottom formation for at least the coming period if we don't crack 6.9, and that's the most likely scenario for me. So then what we've seen with the stock markets, we've been discussing this pretty much the past weeks. During economic downturns or trend reversals or whatever, there's always that 40 to 50% first drop. During the futures market, it hit the level here, and this is a yearly level. We have to do it like this. This is a yearly level. It bounced on it. There was the stimulus package, some more stuff coming out. And what we see now is a strong relief bounce. However, I'm not buying it. I mean, 3.2 million people are without a job, and all of a sudden the markets bounce back up. The number is 5 times higher than the previous all-time high in 1 week. So there's nothing to be bullish about at this point, or you should conclude that that it's priced in. But given that the States is just heating up for the peak and the epicenter of the coronavirus, there's no real case to be bullish on these things at all. So yes, there are relief bounces in equity markets, and the same approach is here for equity markets as for crypto. Nobody wanted to buy over here, and all of a sudden today and yesterday I saw people who want to become a day trader and were interested in buying stocks because they are so cheap. Well, news, fact, life lesson, things can become way more cheap. The markets reverse when nobody wants to have them, not when they grow up. So yes, we've seen a good bounce on the equity markets here. On the Dow Jones, I've been pointing this level in the interview with Young and Investing as well. For now, I really want to see it close above the 21.8 level, 21.8 to 22,000, but mainly I'd want to see a clear break of 23,000 points. However, there's also the bullish divergence indicating some reversal. However, I'm not expecting it. I'm expecting the markets to top out pretty soon and just range around for a little bit. If you go to the Nasdaq and some other charts, you can see that we have to go further down the road. You can see that on every crisis there's always these hiccups which take some time. This is a strong hiccup, and then the next crash occurs even within. There are hiccups. We've seen one already of 10%, even in the dot-com bubble. These are the hiccups, and these hiccups are just traps. And I think we are in a similar pace as the market is just showing another bubble pattern. The monthly candle didn't close yet. If we drop down 3 or 4%, it's just looking awful. We've got a bearish divergence, which is pretty similar. Yes, there is the money printing infinite QE coming up, but this looks like a dead cat bounce to me, in which I'm not buying it, given that we know what's coming to the markets and what's coming to the world, which is an increased peak of the coronavirus. Just the flu bullshit, but it's gonna increase, it's not going away. So, checking the equity markets, I assume that we might see a new wave coming up to like 23,000 points, and then we go back down. And if we go back down, I don't assume Bitcoin to move up, as the correlation has always been positive, and will only go away if the dollar collapses, I assume. And people are not buying Bitcoin at this point because they need cash. So I assume the same to occur with the equity markets, in which we might make a new bounce up or even have a red day tomorrow. If you go to some stocks, I'm pretty pissed off by myself for missing the obvious long on Tesla, as I just retested the previous resistance. It looks like a shitcoin. I have to confirm that. And it bounced back up now. Yeah, there are some insane bounces on the stocks as well, as even Boeing has seen a 100% increase from the low. But does that mean that we have bottomed out? No, there's way more time to come to actually confirm that things are bottoming out, given that this problem won't go away in one go. So if we come back to the markets on Bitcoin, the monthly candle didn't close here either. We're consolidating below a resistance, which makes it feel weird on it. The one scenario that I'm looking at is that we just flip over, and then I'm looking for 5.8 as the first area too long. The second area too long is a 5.2. That could create some short-term bounce, but I'm assuming that we go further down the road from there. The second scenario that I'm watching is that we trap shorters. We push towards 7.2, 7.1.5, 7.2, and then crash down to make it a fake breakout, as we've seen quite often in movements. We've seen it here as well. We've seen it here as well. There's always a trap before it goes the right way. So I assume we're at least going to test the lower level still until we flip 6.9. Then I'm becoming bullish. If you go towards Ether, it's still showing a shit chart. I've discussed in the previous videos that this area here is an area that I could be watching for some scalp longs, which make a bounce to 0.021, after which I assume we're just going to continue downwards, and then we are testing the support levels here. If we don't hold them, we are going to see some beautiful new lows, or at least cycle lows. So yes, that's currently my view on the markets, and not much has shifted as we have seen. I might be introducing a live stream in the short period from now. It might be in the second week or third week of April. I have to see how my schedule is. But thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow if we see some movements after the CME futures expiration. If there are no movements, then I'll be back on Saturday, Sunday. Thank you very much.